Hi, I'm Kaye Spivey and I've moved, so I thought for today's video I'm going to tell you some things I've learned since moving to Death Valley National Park in California. Go ahead and show you the view from right outside our door. So this is Salt Creek at Death Valley. So Death Valley is the hottest place in the world. They have the record of the highest recorded naturally occurring temperature ever, and that was in 1913. It hit 134 degrees here. It's already hit, I think the record for this year was 129, which is really bad. All summer in Death Valley, you can expect it to reach almost 120. Through the month of July, 120 is pretty average for the high, which is a heat that I'm not used to. Most people can't endure for very long. Pretty much no one can endure for very long. 120 is ridiculously hot. It's so hot that when you go outside, you don't feel yourself sweat because it's evaporating so quickly. So I thought I would go over 5 quick tips to help beat the heat this summer. Number 1 is probably one of the ones that gets drilled into everybody the most often, and that is drink lots of water. At Death Valley, they recommend everyone drinks at least a gallon of water a day. So I've got my big old water bottle. I drink at least one of these, and then right now, since I'm still acclimating, I'm trying to drink some Gatorade too. And make sure you're eating as well. Eating a whole bunch of dried, salty foods can help, but make sure you're eating some fruits and vegetables, staying healthy. You do get a lot of moisture from your food as well, so on top of drinking all that water, make sure you're eating plenty. And also wearing sun protection. You want to make sure that you're wearing sunscreen. The sun is very, very hot here. Many places, especially at Furnace Creek, is below sea level. But that doesn't mean that the intensity of the sun isn't enough to bake you alive. Make sure you're wearing lots of sunscreen when you go outside. Also make sure you're covering up. I know if you go out to beach type of weather, you think, oh, it's hot, you're going to uncover a lot, you're going to wear your tank tops and your flip-flops. When you're in heat that is over 100 degrees, try and cover up as much as you can. Loose-fitting clothes, long sleeves, as little sun needs to touch your skin as possible, and that's going to keep you a lot cooler. Nice big hat, bandana to cover your neck. It's going to be tempting to put your hair up. If you have nothing else covering your head, keep your hair down, protect your neck. Number 2 is get all your outdoor activities done before 10 o'clock. And that includes any kind of strenuous activity. If you're going to go hiking, you want to have your hike done before 10 at the hottest points of the summer. Or you want to start your hike and hike in the late evening. You never want to be outside between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Here are the hottest times. Most places that is going to hold true. You just want to make sure that anywhere between the hours of about noon to about 4, you're somewhere in the shade and you're staying cool, because it is pretty oppressive when you're in this amount of heat. For me, that means I get my laundry done early in the morning. If I'm going to go out and try and take a walk, it was already 108 degrees today at 9 o'clock. I took a quick walk around to see the borax mines, and that was more than enough for me. I was ready to come home and have some water, but I've been slow to acclimate. I came down from the nice cool humidity and now I'm in this kind of heat. So never out between 2 and 4, and make sure that all of your heavy duty activities are done before 10 o'clock and that you're inside afterwards. While you are inside, number 3 is that fans are your friend. Everybody likes fans, but I'm talking about the ones that cool you down. Make sure that you have those. AC is obviously imperative in this heat, but there are some places that don't have it. I know up where I used to live in Washington, a lot of people didn't have AC because it typically didn't get over 80 degrees. But if it does reach up over 90 or to 100, you want to have a way to stay cool, and a good way to do that is have an electric fan facing right at you. It's a good way to sleep during the summer too, is to have a fan going. If you can't have a fan, there's a reason for the old-fashioned fans. They do help. You are also extruding some energy to use those, so they don't work as well as having a separate fan. It can also use a lot less electricity than your AC, so kind of combining the two can really help. Number 4 is a little bit like number 2, and that's get your cooking done outside of the hottest hours. Don't heat up your house while the sun is out. If you know that you want to have a big meal in the evening, either try and get some of that cooking done the night before or in the morning, or wait a little later and have a later dinner. Heating up your house during the hottest parts of the day is just going to make you more miserable, so try to eat less cooked food during the middle of the day, and try and make sure you get your cooking done once it's a little bit cooler outside, so you're not just creating extra heat too. And the last one I have for you is number 5, and that's keep the direct sun out of your house. Make sure if the sun is coming in your window, you close those blinds. Anything to keep the sun off of you during the hottest part of the day is what you want. Later evening or early morning, if you want to open up and kind of brighten up your house and maybe even go out and get some sunshine, that's okay, but during the hottest part, keep the sun off of you. It's not worth it. Like I said, it was only 9 o'clock and 108 degrees here, and I was probably only out in the sun for about 15 minutes and I was already starting to feel really dried out and tired. Because it is summer, I also want to go over some signs of heat stroke with you, just so you can be aware. Hopefully you're never in a position where you're dealing with heat stroke yourself, but possibly you might come across somebody who is, and these are some signs to watch for and kind of when to call for emergency help. The first one is a throbbing headache and dizziness. If you're out in the sun and you're getting a headache, probably not a migraine, probably more coming from the dehydration and possibly a sign of heat stroke. Also, lack of sweat. I mentioned after it gets past 100 degrees when you're outside, you really can't feel yourself sweat. When you come back inside, all of a sudden your body like releases, but it's because it's evaporating so fast. But if you're out for a long period of time and you're really not feeling like you're sweating at all, that can be a really bad sign. That could also be a sign of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Also, red hot, dry skin. And this could be from a short period of time, especially if you're getting sunburned out in the sun in that kind of heat. One of the reasons that you cover up is so that you don't expose a lot of skin to get red and hot. But if your skin is covered from the sun and is getting red and hot and dry, that is a sign of heat stroke. And you need to get in completely out of the sun and cool off. Sometimes they will immerse you in water if that's available. Drinking a lot of water can help. Sometimes just lying down. But really getting to a professional, getting emergency help, calling 911, just finding somebody to help you once you're having those symptoms. One of the biggest ones for heat stroke that's a sign to watch for is the muscle weakness and cramps. You can get some of that just from normal hiking, but again, out in the sun, it'll feel more like the type of weakness you might have when you have the flu, and the cramps will be kind of sharp and horrible. And if you're outside in the sun, that is probably a sign of heat stroke. You need to get in. That's probably not just from regular exercise. Heat stroke can also have rapid heartbeat, shallow breathing, but also rapid breathing. If your heart's going really fast and you are having a bit of trouble breathing, or if someone around you is having trouble breathing, those are signs. Also, one of the number one signs that something is a problem and you need to call for professional help, you need to call 911, is nausea and vomiting. If you or someone around you is out in the heat or even indoors and in the heat and starts vomiting, you need to call for help. Vomiting can be very dangerous, especially out in the desert, especially in the summer. Regardless of the circumstance, vomiting is usually a sign that you do need to seek medical help. Vomiting is never just a oh shrug it off type of thing. It usually has a very serious underlying cause. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully all of you are staying cool this summer. I'll try and have some more interesting videos about Death Valley coming up. I do not have any internet where I live, which is why there's a huge gap of time for posting on this channel, and I'm sort of trying to catch back up. I've been recording these videos and editing them all along, but they're going to be going up sort of whenever I can get my hands on some internet. So yeah, hopefully you're enjoying them as they do go up, and I will see you again on Saturday. Bye!